I recently chatted with Nikki Gomez, who is an incredible New York photographer who was a plus size model and is now behind the camera, but also back in front of the camera after many years. And she shares her tips and tricks and some magic to help us all feel a little bit better and accept who we are, no matter what shape or size that we come in. So Nikki, thank you so much for being part of this. Tell everybody who is watching who you are and where you're from and what do you do?
Sure. Thank you, Lisa, for having me. My name is Nikki Gomez. I am a professional photographer, model, and model consultant coach. So pretty much, I am from New York, by the way, from New York.
So California.
Right, going to New York, going to California. But so pretty much my area of expertise and my niche has always been plus size models and the plus size fashion industry, because when I started my career, I was actually a plus size model. And within the industry, I've actually been on every side. So everything from modeling, production, agent, scout, photographer, all of that. And so now, and while I'm taking photographs and helping models build their portfolios, I had this realization that I can also teach them about what it takes to be a successful model, especially plus size model in the industry. So I branched off into that as well.
And you know, there's so many people need this right now, because appearance has become the pressure that we have on social media and mainstream media, just on ourselves, on our peers, everything is a pressure of how you look.
Yeah.
And I know that when you took my beautiful photos, you made me feel $1 million. Yet I am what is considered plus size. And it's so hard as a woman and as a man, as in any gender that you are, that you identify with, to have the pressure on you with your appearance. So how was it for you in the modeling world? Let's talk the modeling world for you. How was that in the modeling world, having that pressure on you?
I mean, I think first and foremost, the biggest thing for me was the realization that there were all kinds of models. So, you know, especially growing up in the era of the supermodel and seeing one type of beauty, you seem to think that that's the only type of beauty, and therefore modeling must be some type of one look. When in actuality, there are all kinds of models. And even no matter what size model you are, you still have to maintain your appearance and your size and all of those things. And I think sometimes people don't realize that that is the truth. So even if you're plus size, let's say, for example, you are a size 14, which is pretty much industry standard, you have to maintain that size 14, and you have to also keep your body and toned, in good shape. You have to maintain all of the things that are essentially your product, and you are your product. So your hair, your body, your skin, your weight, all of that. And then if you go into things like more technical modeling, which I did was fit modeling as well. So now I'm the mannequin for designers, and they're designing clothes based around my measurements. Guess what? I cannot lose or gain half an inch. I have to keep everything the same all the time. And that is pressure, because now you're watching everything you're eating, you're watching your activity, you're watching your water intake, you're watching all of that stuff so that nothing changes so you can keep your job.
So this must have been really, really hard, because obviously that pressure as a plus size model, a lot of people don't see what goes into it, because all of the fact that you have to eat the right foods, you have to keep that weight, you have to, you know, make sure your beauty routine, you can't go out and have a few drinks with your friends because you've got to then you're dehydrated, all of that, it's pressure. And so how was it stepping behind the camera and realizing, oh, I haven't got that pressure anymore?
Well, it was wonderful. And I can just tell you, the best part of it for me is I don't have to do my nails before a shoot now, and I don't have to get my hair done, and I don't have to, I could just be in sweats because I'm going to be on the floor taking photos. But it's a big relief, and it's a nice thing to also have the perspective, because now when I'm photographing models or people or amazing, you know, women like yourself, I have an understanding of what it feels like on your side and the pressure you're feeling and the uncomfortability you're feeling in that moment with a camera in your face. And so that helps me communicate a little bit better with my clients.
Do you feel there's a great deal of judgment in the world about appearance and, feeling like we have to look a certain way?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, and it's always been there, right? It's not new. Like we've kind of grown up with that in magazines and television and movies and so on. And now it's just in a different medium where it's like in our phone, on our laptops, we're seeing it all the time. So even if you don't watch television, you're still being inundated with the pressure to look a certain way. I think what's also happening and what we should also pay mind to is there's a trend now of authenticity as well. So it's like we're getting a lot more definitions of beauty as opposed to one definition. And I would say if you're not seeing that, then you have to look for it too, because what is social media but an algorithm? So the more often we look at different things, the more we'll get suggested different things as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the fact that our phone listens to us now. I might be talking about a keto diet, and suddenly all I'm seeing is a keto diet on there. Or
Yeah.
I'm looking for something on Amazon and suddenly I'm getting ads for that on Facebook. So you're absolutely right. You're not actually looking for it.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Do you feel as though there's a lot of pressure on the young generation right now, especially with Snapchat, Instagram, all the filters that are going on, that they are putting unnecessary pressure on themselves?
Yeah, I would say so. And I say that you can also see that in the makeup trends. So if you're
Yeah.
looking and you're seeing heavier makeup or makeup to look photoshopped when you're not, those types of things are telling you now you're trying to emulate an unrealistic standard of beauty. Because even as a photographer, I try my artists to not Photoshop as much as possible. And whatever Photoshop I do, I try to mimic the light. So because I shoot natural light, certain things, certain shadows come in and I'm like, okay, well, if I just put a little more light here, it would be better than smoothing everything out, right? Because you still have to look like you.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the beautiful thing. I have a 17-year-old daughter who texted me the other day and said, can you be honest? And I said, sure. She said, have I put weight on and am I getting fat?
Mm.
And as a mom, I'm like, I noticed we're in the middle of a pandemic, she's eating, she likes to eat, she's not doing her sport, she's not running around like what she would normally be doing. And so I was honest with her and I said, but you're not active, you're not running around, you're sitting in front of the TV. And she said, okay. And I said, but let's go and do some exercise together. And I think that was important that I empowered her to do that. But what would you say to parents who have got children who are feeling the pressure of social media, of the filters, of being this, being that? What would you say to the parents?
That's a tough question. One, because I'm not a parent.
Oh,
So, I always hesitate to just give advice to parents.
or to anybody feeling the pressure.
Yeah. I would say that first and foremost, any positive change we want to make on ourselves, whether it's physical or otherwise, has to come from a place of love and compassion and positivity. So like, for instance, I know for a lifetime of yo-yo dieting, now my metabolism's slower, so now I have to move more to lose weight and all of that stuff. If I had just thought to myself when I was younger, like, this isn't forever, and actually when you exercise you feel good and it releases endorphins, and now you're positive and now you're moving, and you know what, the more you do it the better you feel, and now you can still eat like some of the things you want, but actually when you eat healthy food you feel good too, so like don't we want to like keep that feeling going? And so even for me, when it's time to like check myself and say to myself, okay, I don't want to get out of control or I'm indulging a little bit too much, I go for more, how is my body feeling and how can I make it feel better? And I don't mean like just touching it and looking at the feeling that way. I mean from the inside. So if I'm not feeling balanced, well, maybe I would do better cutting out meat for a little while, or maybe I'll do better cutting out carbs. And I've literally done everything. So vegetarian, paleo, vegan, and it's never been about the vanity aspect of it for me. It's always been about my health and how I feel.
That's actually a really good point that you bring up, the fact that it shouldn't be about how we look, it should be how we feel.
Yeah.
So I guess recommendations would you give to someone who is, I'm really struggling, I don't know what to do, I'm sluggish, I'm not liking how I feel, I'm not liking what my lifestyle is. What would your recommendations be to them to kind of boost them, to get them started?
Yeah, well, first listen to yourself. You know, like we say these things all the time internally, but we're not necessarily listening and taking action. So once you hear yourself internally saying these things and you're ready, you just start taking action. Like it's just about, again, finding the enjoyment. So listen to your body, ask your body, like, okay, after we ate this, how did we feel? Okay, maybe we don't have this for a little while. Oh, after we ate this, how did we feel? Oh, you felt great. Okay, and you wanted to go for a run? Ooh, maybe we have this some more and run some more. So it's that like relationship that I think we forget, it's all connected. So like the more you go in, whether that's like meditation or breathing or just like internal dialogue that you're asking your body, hey, how are you feeling? The more you'll get the idea and the inspiration to do what's right for you. Because I don't think there's one size fits all. It's really what's right for the individual. So the only way to do that is to know you and ask you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, being a photographer, which I find, I just, your work is amazing. I'm just going to tell you right now, I love your work. But being a photographer and having various different people in front of your camera, you must get people who are self-conscious, who don't want to be in certain poses because my stomach, my arms, my nose, my head, whatever it might be. What do you say to them to make them feel good?
Well, first and foremost, we have fun, and I think one of the reasons why they come out so great, usually, I'll say, is because we have a good time, and that's my goal. So like anything I'm going to do in my life to make money, I'm going to have fun with. So the shoot for me is hanging out, having fun. And if you voice your concerns, well, now I mentally file that and I say to myself, okay, so then I know from my years of shooting, this angle may not make her happy and this may not work for her. Even if it may really work for her, then I'll show her how to tweak it by like pulling in from the core, imagining an invisible white cord pulling you up and like fixing your posture and sucking you in and like pulling your neck back. So there's little tweaks and tricks that I can teach on the spot that really kind of help people see themselves in a different way. I mean, how often do you have a professional photographer with professional angles and understanding of a body to show you what you really look like, right? Anybody else just going like this at random angle, it's not going to be the most flattering picture most of the time. So I give you those tips and tricks that even if your friends are going to take your picture, you kind of can eliminate the things that are bothering you by just posture and posing.
So, I mean, you are beautiful. You are absolutely stunning. Your skin glows. You are just amazing. Do you have a certain routine that you like to follow? Is there a certain thing that you say, I got to do because this makes me feel good?
You mean like internally or like beauty routine as well?
And externally and beautifully. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I do love vegetables. So I eat a lot of vegetables. Not exciting answer, but it's true. I love vegetables. I drink a lot of water. That's one thing. I think I live kind of a paleo lifestyle, and I don't mean as far as food diet. I mean, like I also listen to my circadian rhythm. So if I need more sleep, then I take that sleep and I get up when I need to get up, and I try to structure my life in a way that I'm still productive, because we always think we have to be. And I'm also well rested, and then I can then find the flow of my life. So that's really important to me. As far as external, I never sleep with makeup on, ever, ever, ever. So no makeup, take it off. And then I'm kind of really simple. So I just do like Dove Beauty Bar. I moisturize every night and every morning. And occasionally I do homemade skincare routines. So I'll do like a coffee scrub. I'll wash my face with honey, which just balances your pH. And just really like homeopathic type stuff.
Right. Well, that's good. That's amazing. So let's talk this stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Give us some tips. All right. So there's the pressure of the selfies. There's the pressure of making sure our profile picture is perfect. Give us some of the Nikki Gomez, like little sparks of just magic to help us all feel and look how we want to feel and look in front of a camera.
Yeah, first and foremost, my biggest rule is posing is passé. Nobody poses anymore. Don't pose.
Okay.
Okay, because think about it. Posing was made when we had film cameras. Cameras required you to be very still, so that way you get the image. Now we have digital, so now we move, right? So for instance, I'll give you a little example. So if I was just relaxing, right, then I would have a little bit of a double chin. That's not flattering. If I go like this, oh, that's not flattering. So I think to myself, okay, how do I want to start? I want to start with lifting my chin, bringing it out, bringing my shoulders back. I can still go to the side and I still have a jawline now. Same, right? If you want to do a pose, like if you were starting like this, you start like this. And instead of going to your hip right away, you go from here to here, to here, to here. You smile, laugh. Really laugh. If you're going to laugh in a photo, don't pretend. Everyone can sense it. So just ha 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 ha. Like all of these little things that feel strange, but look amazing in camera. So that's really it. Just go with the flow and just move and just really be conscious of your angles. That's all.
And be yourself.
100%.
Be yourself, because I think there's so much pressure to be somebody else in this world that we now have to be ourselves, really.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And
And
that's what's important.
Yeah, and you're lusciously beautiful. Like whether you're an 8 or an 18, you are lusciously beautiful. That's just a fact. And so, and the thing is, we always compare ourselves. Well, like, I wanted straight hair growing up and my friends wanted curly hair growing up. And so, and little did we know this was going on between us internally, where we're thinking, oh, her hair's so nice. My hair's crap or whatever, and she's thinking, oh, so it's the same thing that we do all the time. But I will say that when you come from a place of one, accepting where you're at, and then choosing to love where you're at, you will be closer to your goal than if you fight against it and then try so hard to get where you think you should be. Because it just doesn't flow that way. Like things, things don't manifest when we're against it, when we're afraid of it, when we're holding on to the opposite, right? We have to embrace where we're at, love it, and then come from a place of gratitude, and we'll get closer to where we want to be. And it's proven to be true. So that's what I would try to do.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, Nikki, thank you so much for giving us some little tips and tricks and some words of wisdom. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for just inspiring the women that you work with, and the men, and anybody that you work with, just really for being themselves, because I think it's truly a gift.
Thank you, Lisa. I love it. And I feel honored to be able to do such a